staff are stating that policy EBS-22, that there's going to be a requirement for an exemption to a part of the policy, and I quote, permanent road allowances, lanes, and alleyway closures, states that if the transfer of title is not complete within 2 years from the date of council authorization, such transfer of title, the approval of such transfer of title will lapse. Since the required approvals for this development will likely take longer than 2 years to complete, council will need to exempt this development from the policy requirement. Now, when I was reading into Valley's statement earlier, the previous agent, they didn't have any language therein seeking an exemption from EBS-22. In fact, they said that the proposal had aligned with that policy and that they weren't seeking any exemptions and they were meeting that policy. So, what I'm inferring from that is staff are seeing that this could potentially take longer than 2 years. And at the time, the agent wasn't considering that this application could take that long for approval. So I would just like maybe some comment back from staff that, are the agents that you're currently working with on the same page where this exemption could be required and that this approval process could take longer than 2 years in duration?
Through the chair, I'll start and Lydia can add to it. I think how we're considering this transaction is contingent upon a number of factors. So the developer does not want to go through with a very long process if something that's critical to his development will never be obtained. However, as you correctly pointed out in the staff report, we want to keep the road open and traveled as long as possible. So we would have a contingent sale of the road with the developer meeting a whole host of requirements, including final approval of site plan, drawing a permit within a prescribed period of time. Because you put all those conditions in there, to meet all those conditions, it might last more than 2 years. So that's why staff took a different approach than the first person. That would have been a more simple conveyance where the transfer could have happened earlier, but we have less control over how the development happens at that point in time. Since there's a number of contingencies that are outlined in the report, for the developer to meet those contingencies would likely take longer time, and some of that might be outside of the developer's control. If someone appeals it, then the timelines get changed at that point in time.